Hello everybody, it's 9:30. Another week's gone here in sunny Spain, but I'm going to have to say, guys, tonight and tomorrow looks like we might have some rain. So fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but it does happen here, unfortunately. But there's rain on the way, but it'll still be sunny next week. So that's the way it is. So tonight I've got all my stuff. I got my paper here. I've got 3 pages of it. So it's a busy night. As you can see down below, if you've got any questions, guys, please add them in the comments. If I've got time tonight, I will try and answer some. But if I haven't, then they're going to next week. But anyway, tonight's questions. What is a padron and where do I get it from? Modernising my property. Now, those 2 were from last week. I didn't have time to finish all the questions from last week. So those have been added to this week. Tax on your pension. 5 top places to visit in the Mercia region. 5 top hotels in the Mercia region. Why would you use Para or Pour? And can I get bagels? Can I get bagels? Bagels, you know what I'm on about, don't you? And expats leaving Spain. That's tonight's questions. So first thing I'll do is kick off straight away, as always, with my good friends Lobster. There it is. Lobster, because Lobsters promote me, so I only got to promote them. I've been using Lobster now for about 3 months. And I've met quite a few people who do use Lobster. They're quite happy with it. So the deal is, guys, if you phone a special number, and it's free. Now, obviously, if you're not with any sort of phone network, because don't forget, as from next year, nearly all the UK phone companies are going to be charging for roaming charges. So if you haven't already got a good deal, maybe worth checking out Lobster. But if you phone this number, which is 711-000-711, and the promotion code is Expat and Mazarron, and what will happen, they will send you a free SIM card, and the first month, depending on what deal you will take out, if you can see it, if you go on the line, what I will say is a small deal for 12 gig is cost you €12, and that includes tax as well. And don't forget, it's not contractable, so if you like it after a month, you can try something else. So check out Lobster. The coffee fund, not too bad this week, I must say. So I want to thank straight away Susan, top lady. I want to thank Martin and Debbie, because I saw them today. Martin and Debbie, they were down. I'd gone down to near I've gone down to near Marmignol. There's a beach there, and Martin and Debbie were there, and they said, "Oh, sure." They come over and said hello. And what was so fantastic about it, Martin bought us all around a drink. That's the top man, Martin. Now Martin lives up the north of Mercia, called a place called Blank. Yeah, I think it's that. Anyway, it's near Muller. Anyway, Martin, thank you very much. Top people, top supporters to the channel is what I say. I also want to thank David. Now, David's put a message on his thing for the coffee fund, and that was celebrating today, getting our paperwork off to the consulate at long last. Hope to see you again soon. Dave, good luck. Good luck with Spain. That's what I'll say. Hope to see you. Okay, don't forget the Expat and Mazarron merchandise. You can get a mug with supporting the Expat man myself, or you can get T-shirts. You can get polo shirts. If you check the link below this video and any other previous videos, there'll be a link to the Expat site, which is, I believe, if I got it right in my head, Craft Box. Yeah, check it out, please, guys. And if you do buy anything, it'd be fantastic if you could send me a photograph. That'd be most appreciated. We got 38 in the house, I should say. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go straight into the intro video because I've only gone 5 minutes already. So I'm going to put on the intro video now, if you can find it, because it's all organised here. I'm going to put the wrong one on. Okay, before we get into the questions, I just want to say some thank yous to some people as well. Now, in the week, I went out and met Andy and Katie. Now, they do a YouTube channel called Spanish Homestead. Now, I've been doing some interviews lately. Now, you probably know I already did one for Mike and Yvonne. And then this week, I put up one from Jan and Paul. Both those guys own holiday homes. Now, unfortunately, when I did the Jan and Paul video, I did have some problems with the mic. I was using a new mic. As always, I didn't read the instructions, and it sounded. Some people said they can't even hear it. I don't know what that was going on there, but I did have some sort of feedback on the mic. I tried my best on the video, but anyway, it's come out all right. And I went over to see Andy and Katie and the kids. They live off grid. They haven't got no electric, but they got solar power. They're on a farm. Really interesting, really young couple. I felt like granddad, but amazing. And I did an interview with them. It came out fantastic as well. Andy, I know Andy and Katie are watching. Top people. I'm going to put up a photograph of the guys just to show you how young they are. And that's their young daughter, who I think is it's something to do with the Google thing what you speak into. And I can't think of it now, but no doubt that Andy will come up with that. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you very much. We had a great interview. It'll be out in a couple of weeks' time. I'm sure it'll be a big interest to a lot of people, especially people that want to go off grid. Yeah, really interesting. So I want to thank those guys. Also, want to thank Wayne. He come in the week. Now he's popped over for a couple of days. He was staying down in the port. I think he might have gone back by now. But I'm going to thank Wayne because he's made me a lovely plaque. If you look above my head, you'll see another plaque that he did a couple of years ago, the Expat Mazarron. He come over and bought this one. He's a top man. I've got to say a big thank you, Wayne. I forgot your wife's name again. You know, I'm useless at remembering names. And here's another one, close up of it. And if you look above my head, you see it up there. So, top man, it's on show. I most appreciate it. And that's what I like about a lot of people. They do appreciate what I do. And it makes me want to carry on doing this. So, thank you much, Wayne. And you come down and have a look in my studio. Okay, so I did that. I also, while I was out doing Andy and Katie, I had to go and look at this property. I've got to thank Kev's watching tonight. He's a top man as well. He sent me the link to this place. It wasn't too far from Andy and Katie's place. I'm not even going to pronounce the area. Otherwise, it's in Costa Blanca area. What amazed me, it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. It's got indoor, outdoor swimming pool. Can you have such a thing as an indoor and outdoor swimming pool? It's got a garage. It's got a workshop. There's solar power. It was built in 2014. It's still abandoned. Can you believe? And it's only 439,950 euros. Can you believe that? I'm sure there's lots of people that want to buy that. Now, the other night, hang on, I've got it up now. I went out with my doggy the other night, Tuesday evening. The moon was up, so I thought I'd take a picture of that to show you guys. And also want to thank the Spanish drone seekers. Now, this is the drone seekers. I've got it all written down here. I've got to thank Steve, who came over from the UK. He's the governor. And we all wanted to meet him. And we've got some new people in there. If you don't recognise them, you got Mike and Yvonne in that lot somewhere. If you remember, you obviously got Steve and Mandy. You got some extra people in there as well. And I want to thank Jackie for organising the 2 days out this week. We had fantastic weather. One was them today. I'm pretty knackered coming back from that. But I want to say a big thank you, guys. Most appreciate, because I do enjoy flying my drone. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thank you much for that. Right. And also, today does amazing, because I met Martin and Debbie today, which is amazing. Don't expect when you go out exploring to meet people that recognise you. Getting film star status, I think. I met a guy called Mick just across the road from where I live. He came over. He's been living here a couple of years. He's always wanted to bump into me. So, Mick, most appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. Always good to have another supporter supporting me, which is pretty good. Okay, what we'll do now, I'll go straight into the Campusol news before we go into the questions. Now, last Thursday, there was actually a meeting down at the town hall with the Campusol Residents Association. And what it was, the council, so it is definitely coming on. And what I'm going to read this out, and then you understand it a bit more. Anyway, the Campusol Residents Association has been informed of the investment of 3.7 million euros over the next 18 months. This morning, we're talking about last Thursday, this morning a meeting was held at the Mazarron Town Hall between the mayor, the councillors of the urbanisation. I'm not going to go through all the names of it. And it goes on about the international relations, blah, blah, blah. In the meeting with the CRA, the Campusol Residents Association, the numerous problems that the Campusol urbanisation supports have been exposed. In 2018, the Research Commission of the Regional Assembly approved the creation of the working group to evaluate the differentiators of the Campusol urbanisation. The concentration of the table was requested from both the regional government and the Confederation in calibration. So it's going on all about all the people getting together. Yes. I mean, what it all runs down to, obviously, when Massa built the whole of Campusol, it never finished. It proclaimed itself bankrupt, so it never finished what it was supposed to do. And we're talking about the roads. On A here, we got the parks were never finished off properly. And they've managed to get 3.7 million off that part of it. I'll just finish off on here. Anything else before? Because you know what it's like when you have these meetings, it's all babble, isn't it? And apparently it's going to be over the next 18 months. Now, they haven't said yet, and I will put a photograph up of the committee guys, just in case anybody recognise anybody. You probably won't, because they all got the masks and all they've got their backs to us. But the guy in the middle there, he's the mayor. Now, one thing that did come up previously, which I mentioned last week, is about they're going to be retarmacking the main dual carriageway from C1 up to D. That's not coming out of that money. obviously, it's all to do about things they didn't finish off. Now, one of them would be the parks, obviously. The roads, I think that's going to be come under something else myself. I'm not really maybe the pavements and things like that. Anyway, we're going to obviously get to know in the next 3 or 4 months, probably more like the new year, what they're actually going to do, which is good news, really. Right, something else that came up last week, which was the taxi. Since I've been here, which is nearly 6 years now, Campersol wasn't allowed to have any taxis on Campersol itself. I mean, you can get a taxi from the town up to Campersol, but there's not. The council wouldn't give out any licenses, mate. There's a Campersol cabs on Campersol now. Now, one of the things that hadn't come up was the phone number. Now, it's got a Facebook page, which is the Campersol cabs, but I will read out the number just in case someone wants to make a note of it. I've got 61 in the house, which is good. So it was 34, which is the code, obviously. Then you got 711024858. Just say it again, 711024858, which is pretty important, guys, because obviously when you got your friends or your mum, dad's coming out, or your family's coming out, and they don't want to hire a car, they can obviously hire out the cab now. I believe it's 50 euros from Corvera Airport, and I think it's 120, which it sounds a lot, but when you break it up, if it's 4 people in the car, it's not that bad price, really. Anyway, so I thought I'd mention that as well, because we didn't actually find what the phone number was. Right, something else I've got to mention. I've got to thank. I've got to thank Alison, because she asked me, could I mention this on tonight's show? And what it is the Forget Me Not group. Now they meet. I'll read it out anyway. We are volunteers at Forget Me Not, caring for carers. If you know anyone that needs a break for a couple of hours on a Monday, especially if they're caring for someone with Alzheimer's, please bring the loved ones to us, and we'll give them a bit of a break. And what it is, every Monday morning from 10:30 to 1, they put on. You can come for free. They put on a free lunch for you. And what it is really, obviously, carers do a fantastic job, not just here, but obviously all around the world, really. And it's a lot of hard work, but it just gives them a break. So I've got to thank Alison for that. So don't forget, if you're on Campersol and you are a carer, don't forget the Forget Me Not group meets every Monday at 10:30 to 1. It's over on B. Now, the picture I've got here, that's the community centre. So there you are. Very much. Well done, guys. Now we can go straight into the questions. So question 1 is from, I've got Petra. I've got that name right. But anyway, he says, what is a padron and where do I get it from? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stick up the picture of a padron, which is just a piece of paper with some information on there. You're going to find, now, obviously, say, like you and the wife, you've got each have a padron. You can't just have a padron for the both of you. You have your own padron. It doesn't. It's not nothing difficult. I will explain a little bit more about that in a moment. But don't get it mixed up with this, because that's a padron. That's a padron pepper, believe it or not. Just in case. I was doing a bit of research on the padron, and the padron peppers come up. So I just thought, just in case you get a bit confused with it, what I will do, I'll put the comments in now, because hopefully that will kick in a minute. So we're talking about the padron now, guys. As you can see below the video, if you've got any questions, if I've got time, I'll try and answer them tonight, but I probably won't. But I will obviously answer them next week. So I've got the comments on now. Loads of people on there. I've got to thank everybody. Valentine says he wants a mug with Bonnie on it. Not with Sean on it, but he wants a mug with Bonnie on it. I'm going to have to consult my friends Mandy and Steve, so their daughters, see if they can do a Expat and Mazarron Bonnie mug. Good thinking that. I like that idea. Anyway, going back to the Padron. Right, the Padron is a local certificate that you receive after registering at the town hall where you live. The certificate for the Padron in the Spanish is I can't even pronounce that in Spanish, so I won't even bother. If you have several properties in different cities, you can register all on one Padron. So virtually is when you go down, Patrick, what it is, when you go down to the town hall, that's where you're going to get your Padron form. Now, I know in some areas around Spain, this is another thing, guys, don't just take it. It's going to be the same all over Spain. Even towns do it differently, but this is what they do where I live. So you go down to the town hall. Usually, you got to book an appointment. Sometimes you can just turn up at the door, depending on how they're feeling. They might just do it straight away. They did it to me a couple of weeks ago. I turned up at the town hall. The security guard was there, and he asked me what was after. I said, I want to renew my Padron. I showed him my old Padron. I showed him my resident card. Within 5 minutes, he come back out of my new Padron form. He wanted €2 for it because they have to photocopy it, and that was it. Now, some places don't even charge you. Some places do. Some places do it slightly different, like I just said about you could have to book an appointment. But what they want is your passport, ID or resident card, registration form, which you can find here. I'm reading this off the internet thing here. So obviously some places it sounds like you can do it online, but not where I live in Mazarron. You actually got to go down to the town hall and sort it out yourself. In case of being the owner of the house, you're gonna have to show them your freaking hell, what's that called now? Your deeds, your property deeds to them as well. It's best to take a copy, the original one. I mean, like they always say, bring the whole freaking lot with you, your NIE. And never turn up. Now, with the Padron, every time you want to renew something, if you want to renew your resident card, now obviously I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to have to replace our resident card with the new TIE card. They're going to need a new Padron for it. Now, the Padrons, some areas last for 5 years. Now, I believe that's what they do. That's how long they do last for. But when you're trying to renew anything, they like it to be so many months or weeks old. So it's always best to just go down to town hall and get it. It's no hassle getting a Padron. Even when you're buying a car. Now, when I bought my car, I didn't need it, but my friends who bought their car, they wanted to see a Padron. When I applied for my S1, they wanted your Padron. So even though it's all it is really, it's like you're on the register of the town hall. They want to know where you live. It's for the votes in it. And the other idea with the Padron, which a lot of people didn't bother doing a couple of years back, is the more Padrons the council have got in Mazarron, then the more funding they get from the local government. So if say on campus, there's 10,000 people, whatever, and only 3,000 bother to get a Padron, they don't get enough money. So it's always handy to have a Padron, and you will find now most things now you need to show your Padron. So hopefully that sorted that out. Never hear a Padron. Right. Well, you are, see, Rob, you learn something new every day on this show. So there you are. See, Andy is saying the Spanish homestead in Valencia, you can get a family Padron, so we are all on the same one. Well, see here, we have to have separate. So it just shows you how different it is. So we've got about the peppers again. That's good. Okay, so anyway, that's good. Number 2 is from Emma. Do you know how people put the modern brickwork around their arches and their property? I would love to do ours and modernise it a bit. So what I've done there, Emma, is I'll tell you what, I found a brilliant place that Stephen Mandy showed me, and that was this place, Bric-a-Mart. They got an amazing store down near Mercia. If if you just stick it in the internet, it'll come up with the address. It's not that hard to find, really. It's a bit like B&Q. To me, it's far better, this place, than Leroy Merlin. Leroy Merlin's, to me, is a bit like Home Base. It's a bit upmarket. But this is your nitty-gritty stuff. This is all the stuff that you need. And I'm sure, if you go in there, you'll find it's like artificial cladding. It's like tiles, really, in it that you just stick on. But I'm sure if you go in there, Emma, you'll find what you're after. But I know if you go into Leroy Merlin's, I believe they've got those sort of things as well. This sort of artificial brickwork. But yeah, I thought I'd whack that up. Hope that's giving you some help there, Bricko Mart. So I'll just go back to the comments. So we're back in there. Full moon tonight in Port Solent. Well done, Kev. Number 3 from Brian Watts. Do you know how much tax one would pay on a pension in Spain? It would be, I think, taxed as a foreign pension. Basically, if you have a pension of €1,000, what percentage would you pay? Also, what other taxes would be due if you move to Spain and are living in a rented accommodation? It'd be no good moving then. So what Brian's virtually on about, he wants to know about the tax. And I'll be honest, Brian, this ain't a place to ask about things like that because it's obviously complicated. I'll be honest, I don't understand the tax system. And I know Mike and Yvonne are really clued up on those sort of things. I'm not a person to ask Brian because I'll just give you the wrong information. I've got my own accountant. We just give it to them and they sort out our yearly taxes and that. What I will say, Brian, I'm going to, obviously looked on the internet and just see, because I ain't got a clue. I wouldn't, because it's complicated. And to be honest, it's always best to seek proper legal advice on those sort of things. Asking people on things like what I do and Facebook, you're going to get a load of misinformation, I believe. But anyway, I will tell you some information. Resident taxpayers in Spain receive a certain tax reduction. The basic personal allowance for everyone under the age of 65 is €5,550 or €6,700 from the age of 65 and €8,100 age 75. Obviously, it's a lot lower here than it is in the UK. So that's another thing to think about. Obviously, when you move into Spain, get somebody legally minded that knows what they're on about with the taxes and that. Non-residents are generally taxed at 24%. If you're a tax resident of Spain, your worldwide income will be subject to personal income tax at progressive rates. And that also depends on what region you are. This is another thing about don't just take it by searching for information on the internet that it covers the whole of Spain. In certain parts of Spain, the tax varies, which is just nuts, isn't it? So yeah, guys, when you're doing these sort of things, when you're doing your research, especially when you're thinking about moving out to Spain, please check through your solicitors, or actually if you got an accountant, to find out to obviously give you an idea, because what Brian's getting at is he don't want to move out to Spain and find out he's going to get taxed to the hilt and he can't afford to survive. So it's a good question, but it is a hard question to answer, really. But Brian, yeah, hopefully some people might come up there with some information, but I honestly still say better to get proper from the professionals. Yogi, now Yogi's on tonight. He said he wanted to come on tonight. Well, I could just see him there anyway. What he did ask, he says, if you're visiting the Mercia region for 2 weeks, what would you be the top 5 places to visit, in your opinion? So good question, that, Yogi. And thankfully, I've actually got a video that I've done a couple of years back, I think a year ago, I don't know. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a video file, if I can. I don't think I can do it. I think what I wanted to try and do was show one of my videos. Can I share it on screen? Let's have a look here. Can I do that? Can I do this? Let's have a look now. If I can put that on.
Luisa tiene 87 años. Vivió tiempos de
I just don't think it's going to work.
Años en blanco y
Let's have a
negro
look.
que necesitaban.
Okay. It's not going to come up, is it? Let's have a look. It's not going to come up, is it? Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let's put it back at the beginning. Let's go back to that screen. It's all this technology, see? So this is the video I did back in, can I see it? 2000. So we're talking about, only over a year ago. I think, yeah, that's Cala Blanc. Funny enough, that's where we went today. Cala Blanc, and these are the salt marshes. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's only, so don't all leave me, guys. It's only on for about 3 or 4 minutes, this video, but it just gives you some of the places in the Murcia region. I mean, it's a lovely region, I think, the Murcia region, or the Costa Calada, Costa Calada, what you want to call it. Now these are called, that's me and the missus. Now this is called the Badlands. This is not far from Campersol, just up the road, probably about half-hour drive, if that, really. Amazing area, sort of area you expect to see in Western films. It's an amazing landscape for people who like walking and on your bikes. It's a great place to go. There's the Mariposa. We've still got 69 in the house, which is good. Alido, a Moorish little village on a cliff top. You can go inside that tower. It's got obviously loads of old bits of history, but it's a quaint little village. But there's little bars there where you can have a cup of coffee. There's some lovely paintings on the walls, but yeah, amazing place to visit, especially if you got your family coming over or something for a day out trip. It's worth a visit. He says twice. La Santa, which is just before Lido, it's like an old monastery that's been sort of turned into a hotel, and the door that's right in front of you is a lovely old church. You will see a picture of that in a minute. And I think the hotel is open at the moment. So you can have a meal and a coffee. And if you want, you can actually stay up there if you want. Behind it is the Sierra Spoon in the mountain range. But it's an amazing place to go and visit. If you actually stay at the hotel, it's got an outdoor swimming pool. I don't know if it's heated, but yeah, it's a lovely place. I'm just reading some of the comments at the moment. Now, this is inside that church I was on about, and this is the bar to get your coffee. You got a lovely scenery there, the orange gardens. Cartagena is only about an hour's drive, if that, from Campersol. You can go down the toll road to it very quick. Amazing city. Got a lot of history there. Obviously, it's the main naval docks for Spain. They got obviously got their ships there. They've got they got the Roman. I wouldn't say Colosseum, but they got this massive arena there. Obviously, in the old days, where the Romans used to do their performing to the locals. It's a walled city as well, but it's amazing place to come and visit. I mean, I've only touched small parts of Cartagena, and I will try over the next year or so do a lot more videos of Cartagena. I do love the place. It's got a lot of history there. Lots of old castles and ruins. So amazing people I've met in that area as well. A lot of architectural and whatever. Am I flogging it? Yeah. I mean, I do enjoy going to Cartagena. We've got 55, so we've got a bit of a drop at the moment. So anyway, that's it now, guys. So I'll come out with that now. I'll stop the to stop that video before it carries on. I'll just get rid of that. Just chunk it off because it's only me working behind the controls here. Anyway, Yogi, I hope that's answered your question on that. Now, Yogi did ask another question, which was, if you're visiting the Mercia region for 2 weeks, where would you? What's the top 5 hotels? And why should I be? And why are they the top 5 hotels? And I'll be honest, Yogi, I haven't got a clue. Never stayed in a hotel in my life, and I haven't got anything there. And I think Sandra has put up a thing about the tax thing there. I think it's just I'm just trying to read a little bit about that. Citizens, yeah, UK tax, etc. Yeah, the UK Citizens Spain is another good site, maybe worth checking out. You can actually ask them about a bit of information about the tax. Anyway, going back to the hotels now, if anybody out there that stayed at a fantastic hotel in the Mercia region, just please put it below. That'd be great. Now, when Wayne was over, the guy Wayne did me the fantastic plaque up above my head. He was staying down in the port. Did I put the name down for it? Hotel Playa Grande. He said he said it was awful. He said it's a 4-star hotel, and he showed me some pictures. And I don't want to put the pictures up because you're not allowed to do that here, unfortunately. But they were really awful. Seats all ripped, rust and fluff, and he went up. I think went up to the Cumberland Hotel in the end. Even though he paid for the 2 or 3 days that he was staying there, but he wasn't happy with the Hotel Grande. I don't know if anybody that's been staying there, maybe they'll say it's completely different. I don't know, but he wasn't happy. But I don't know any hotels. Now I've just seen Andy's put up one there because I don't know any hotels, to be honest. It's not so. I think in Mazarron itself, it's not really a big hotel place. Obviously, Cartagena's got a lot of big hotels, no doubt, and I know obviously Mercia has, but this is really a farming area. It's not really a sort of maybe when you got the Belladon, which is in Costa Brava anyway, not even in the Mercia region. They're slightly different, but it's not really a holiday resort area, if you get what I mean. Bed and breakfast places, yeah, maybe, and I don't even know what they would be like. But Andy's put up one there. Emma said the Cambia, yeah, that's in the port. I think that's the Cumbian. I don't know. Maybe I just got that wrong, and I. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that there for a couple of minutes, just while that's catching up. See if anybody else got any suggestions on hotels in the region. Maybe not then. So we go on to the next one. Oh, my good old friend Stafford. Now he asked me, why would you use para and pour? Can you explain the same context about the difference? I'm going to put this up because I know my good friend Rob. He can read that. And I go to a Spanish class. So anyway, I'll be honest. What's the point of asking me about Spanish? I don't know. And all I can say is go to a Spanish class. I'll tell you a good person to ask would be Spain Speaks, old Stuart, because he's actually a teacher and he's got qualifications in it. Why would you want to ask me? But anyway, I'll just leave it. Oh, yeah, see. Rob's coming up with some translations there. Next question, which is from Rob, believe it or not. And I can put up, just in case Rob pops over to sunny Campersol. When you come over to Campersol, here it is. If you pop into Consume, which is on Sector B of Campersol, they sell bagels. 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 I'll be honest, I don't get it with bagels. To me, it's got a hole in the middle. Why would you want to have a roll and you just got to mess about trying to put butter on jam on it? But anyway, Rob, if you go into Consume, I presume, I think most of the supermarkets here do sell bagels. What a name, eh? Why do they call it bagels? Can we get a translation on bagels, please? What did I ask again? Bagels, yeah. Aren't Spanish. Bagels, of course they're not. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're Jewish, aren't they? And obviously because they come from New York. No, I believe there's a famous lady who's got a store in a shop in New York that's called Bagels. But obviously everybody uses them now. But I have to be honest, my wife buys them, and I just don't like them because you've got to mess about with the whole bit, haven't you? Just don't get it yourself, Rob. But obviously some people obviously got a particular liking. I mean, I like Marmite. I expect a lot of people don't like Marmite, but to me, bagels, what you want to call them, not for me. But anyway, I told you where you can get them from, Rob. Now Andy's saying this, they're a northern thing from up north. I wouldn't not be surprised, you know. That's probably true, Andy. I'll probably get shot for that. Right. Question 8. So we're getting near the end of the questions now, but we're doing all right for time, which is good. I've got 61 in the hour, so thank you much, guys. Most appreciate that. Now it's JR, not JR Hewin. Are expats leaving Spain in droves? Now, obviously, this has been coming up on the local, not the local, but the UK press. One of them's Daily Express. And what I've done, actually, I've taken a clipping off the Daily Express. Brexit fury. British expats are given just days to leave Spain after new rules. Express headline. Britons who have been rejected for residency in Spain are given just 15 days to leave the country and told they risk being classified as illegal. What all that's about is obviously a lot of people applied for residency before end of the last year, and some people unfortunately were refused for whatever reason. Some people didn't even bother and started applying for residency after the new year. Obviously, they weren't going to get it. But the government, the UK government, has set up a fund. Obviously, they know there's going to be a lot of people in Spain, especially older people, that don't get out, that haven't got the likes of Facebook and things like that, or disabled or whatever. And they are, as long as they can prove that they've been living in Spain for so many years, they can apply for residency. And that's who they're aimed at, not for somebody who's been living in Spain for about 20 years under the radar and then decides, oh, I better be a resident now. They will be. Anyway, I think they've got until the end of the month before, they're going to be deported. Droves, I don't know. I mean, I've known people this year. Well done, Stuart. You're in the club. I do know people have gone back this year, especially people that's got holiday homes and things like that. that's more around the 90-day thing. And obviously some people that probably didn't apply for residency just thought, well, they just can't hang on anymore, and they've gone back to the UK. But I don't believe they've been going back. There's been a mass evacuation. I mean, you know, there's if you the property on campus are the same that they've been for since the years I've been here. Obviously, with the COVID and things like that, it's still the same turnover of properties. So it's definitely not a mass evacuation from this area. And I don't really believe down in the south, Costa del Sol, but there will be people, and no doubt that it'll be on the press. Some 70-year-old couple that have been living in Spain for 50 years or whatever, and they've been booted out. Yeah. I think something came up the other day. We was chatting the other day about the lady that went over to Benidorm for a 2-week holiday. Now, this was a couple of years ago, and complained to the hotel owner saying there was too many Spanish people in the hotel. Bit sensitive that was at the time. But yeah. So now the next question is from SK, which is Steve, which is sort of the same sort of thing, Reed, which is question 9. I'm just having a quick check through the questions there. I'll just have a look at. I'll come back on that one in a minute, Karen. Anyway, and he was saying, are there many people that you've met that have gone back to UK? And I can say, yeah, I've met a few people, and I'm going to say straight away, my mother's gone back to the UK. Now, obviously, this was before the COVID and that. Unfortunately, my father died, and my mum obviously, you know, just didn't feel like she could live here anymore. So, I mean, she was living down in Malaga way, so she went back to the UK. And I think us. I mean, I myself say the same thing. I could say I could never go back to the UK. You just don't know the circumstances in life, dear. That there's always a chance you might have to go back. That's why, obviously, keeping your passport up to date as well, so you can get back into the UK. I mean, I get my UK pension and things like that, so it's still there. This is my home now, but there's always that chance of going back. But I have met a few people. One of the main reasons why people go back, they can't cope with the weather. When it comes July, August, it does get hot. We're talking sometimes unbearable. Well up in the 30s, you virtually shut yourself in the house. I know it sounds mad, isn't it? But you do shut yourself in the house. You have the aircon on, you have the fans on to try and keep you cool. Now, obviously, if you've got a lovely modern house, you can probably cope with that a little bit. But yeah, it can get a little bit unbearable. And I think people do forget. About just see the questions there, about how hot it does. And I think that's one of the main reasons. And another main reason, and I've met when I first come here, because if you don't know, I meet up with the dog people every morning. We have a good old chat. There was a lovely Scottish couple, Brian. He'd been living in Spain for, I don't know, 15 years, but his wife had missed the family. I think that's another thing. They've missed the family so much that they've gone back to sunny Glasgow. And I know Brian didn't want to go, but obviously his wife wanted to go. So I think that's another thing about, if you're thinking about moving to Spain, make sure both of you are 100% on moving. Not, well, I'll go to keep him happy, but that doesn't always work, because after a couple of years, the relationship just gets worse and worse. So it's always best to make sure that you're both. I know you can't be 100% definite, but most of you are pretty determined that that's where you're going to live now in Spain. I mean, you know, with the technology we got now with FaceTime and WhatsApp and all these things, you can talk to your kids and things like that. And I know it's not that easy. We all get upset about the families and that, but that's another reason why a lot of people do go back, because of family. And obviously now with the cost of housing in the UK, I mean, I would find it pretty difficult now to go back to the UK unless I go into some old home care place, maybe one room place. But I'd rather live here, but you just can't say never. You can't say never. I've just seen Steve come out there. I think it's something always to think about when you're thinking about moving to Spain. It sounds fantastic, and if you are thinking about it, don't think about it too much. But you got to think about those things in your back of your head, really. And that's what I say about coming out in the 2 different seasons. Come out in the winter time because it gets frigging cold. I don't care what people say, even down in the sunny Malaga way, Costa del Sol, it still gets cold. And holics to people say, "Oh, it's not that cold." It's cold. I mean, it's not freezing cold, but it's cold, and it can go on for a couple of months. But obviously, during the daytime, it's lovely and warm. But in the evenings, when it gets the nights come in, because don't forget the hours become 5 o'clock. You know, the days are short. It does get cold, but also again, come out in July, August. It's hot, and depending on where you go, be it in the cities or up in the outback, because if you go and live up in the mountains, it's going to be even colder up there. So have a good old think about that. So I've answered all the questions. I've got 10 minutes left. So what I'm going to do, I've just seen somebody asking on this bit here. I can see what we got here. Right, I did see somebody asking about something. I can't see it now. So Karen said it's cold in the south in June and February, but still 10 degrees warmer. Yes, it's true. I mean, obviously, in the winter time, you're not going to get the deep frost, but you would if you're living up near Granada way. Don't forget the Sierra Nevada has snow in the mountains nearly all year round. Obviously, in the height of July and August, not so much, but most of the year it gets snow up there. So I mean, I'm not just on about where I live, but in other parts of Spain, it does get a bit chilly, Willie. But yeah, Graham's asking about something we'll probably talk about next week on that one. But I saw something about up here. I think Karen was asking. Right, let's have a look what Karen was saying. Let's whack this up. Hi, Shaw. Any chance you could let me know the estate agent selling the abandoned property which you mentioned? Yes, I can. Let's see if I can find it for you, Karen. I'll have to get up my other net a minute. Now you can't see me. Well, I can't see you. If you get what I mean. I've just pressed the wrong thing then. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and find a video for it so you can write it down. Hang on, let's have a look. This is what I love about technology. I'm taking you can't see me. So let's see if I can get it. If I can get it come up. Here it is. Right, this is the guy.
This one's the perfect gift for
right,
a friend who's
crack
been
that over there a minute.
So
I love this technology. It's so good. Right, hang on. Let's see if I can get that up. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and get up I can share it on the screen here for you, Karen. He says, I'm going to share the screen. Okay. Right. Hopefully I got it. So this is the company. I'm going to knock your image off a minute so you can see it there. So if you write down that name up there, Honden Villas. Now if you put that on the YouTube, and we'll just make a note of that and copy and paste that onto your search thing. This should come up. Now, obviously it's not going to look like that now, where it looks lovely and shiny. When I went past there, now I couldn't get into the property itself, but it's not looking like that, I don't believe. But it's got some views, but for that sort of price, not too bad. It's a bit funky, I must agree. But if you didn't catch that, Karen. I'm just going to turn it off now. But anyway, it's just let's take that off. Stop that. Okay. Hang on. I'll just turn that off a minute. Once it gets all complicated, and I've got two different sites running. So hopefully, Karen, you managed to get written down the name of that estate agent. If you did you? You have. Hey, if you do buy it, I would love to come and have a look at it, Karen. That would be pretty amazing. It's an amazing. I can't remember the name of the area. Obviously, we're talking in the Costa Brava area, but it's up in it's well inland. It's in a pine. It's the back end of a pine forest. It's a lovely mountain area, but I don't know much about the area itself. About where the nearest. There is a town nearby, I must say. Am I flogging it well? I don't know about how far the nearest city is away from it, but if you want to live out in the country, you probably don't look the road too much about that. I'm going to have a quick look about. Thomas is on about the spinny thing. Now I used to call them the whirly things, Thomas, not the spinny things. Come on, let's get this right. But what asset? So Kev's asset, because Kev is the one that actually gave me the link to that place, but he's got it up there, so that's good. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to shoot back at the beginning. So there's some questions out. So what I'll be doing for next week will be about the 90-day thing, because that 90-day thing, it's always coming up. And I'll be honest, it is pretty confusing. So Cheryl, we'll be talking about that next week. We'll go into depth a bit more about the 90-day thing. Maybe I'll try and get somebody that can explain it a little bit better than me. And Thomas was asking about the Fiesta for next year. I will try and get hold of Sue Tinkler. Now, she's the organizer of the Fiestas on campus. So they usually last over 3 days. They're really good. Obviously, the past 2 years with the COVID, and they've just started up again to fund, get the money, because it's all free for the people on campus, and the people that come over on holiday, and that it didn't cost anybody any money, but obviously running it costs a lot of money. What else we got on there for next week? Lots of hellos, which is top people. Sounds okay, which is good. Shortcut Hannah, I got there from Eric, top man. Yeah, we got Valentine there as well. He was asking about, can you have a Bonnie mug? We'll see if we can sort something out there, Valentine. Anything else? I can't see anything else that's come through. But so if you got any questions, guys, please get on with them, because if I don't get many questions, it's going to be a short show It's going to be a short show next week. But anyway, let's go look at the bottom. So, and Sandra's asking about the processionary caterpillars. That's very true. You've got to think about that, especially if you've got animals. You don't want to be walking your animals around with processionary caterpillars. Now, obviously, some councils do deal with that. They hang things from the trees to try and stop the processionary caterpillars. I think we're going to start be getting those in the next month or so. I've seen them as early as sort of like mid-November. Usually they sort of come around the beginning of the new year. Not very nice things. They're killers for pets. So something else to think about, admittedly. Obviously, Almo's asking about that. Be something else we can talk about if he wants to keep a UK car in Spain to drive. Something else we can chat about, which is good. Yeah. So how we doing? It's coming up to our past. Hope you enjoyed the show, guys. That's what I always said. Most appreciate that. What time is it? It's coming on. It's coming up to the big our past. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show, guys. I always enjoy doing this. Most appreciate all of you coming in tonight. As I always say, got to stay safe. Enjoy your life. That's the main thing. That's what it's all about. And it's time for the flashy light time. Anyway, as I will say, we saw caterpillars last month on top of. See, there you are. The caterpillars are starting to come out. Unfortunately, I'm glad you enjoyed it, guys. I'll catch you next Thursday, 9:30. Enjoy yourselves. I'm going to whack on the old, where is it now? Whack that off. Anyway, adios amigos. Catch you next time. Here it is. I put the wrong one on, haven't I?